Question 1. The underlying principle of maintaining safety during condensate drain installation in a residential HVACR system often lies in proper slope management. Mr. Emerson, a certified plumber, is installing a horizontal PVC condensate line running 25 feet from an air handler to a sump. The manufacturer recommends a 1/8 inch per foot slope. However, to avoid interference with a ceiling joist, he considers running part of the line flat for 8 feet. What is the best course of action? A. Proceed with the flat run if the remaining slope compensates for the overall drop. B. Install a condensate pump to maintain proper drainage through the flat section. C. Increase pipe diameter to compensate for the lack of slope. D. Reduce the length of the run to avoid violating slope requirements. Answer. Correct answer B. Explanation. Per the Section 307(2)(2), condensate drains must maintain a continuous downward slope of not less than 1/8 inch per foot. Any horizontal run without slope risks water accumulation and microbial growth. Using a condensate pump is the code-compliant method to overcome architectural barriers while maintaining drainage integrity. Increasing pipe diameter does not resolve slope issues. Compensating by increasing the slope elsewhere can create airlocks or backup. Cutting pipe run short may not be feasible based on layout. Question 2. With respect to backflow prevention, Mr. Chan is tasked with designing a potable water line connected to an irrigation system that uses chemical fertilizers. What device should he install to comply with code and ensure health and safety? A. Dual check valve. B. Atmospheric vacuum breaker. C. Reduced pressure zone RPZ backflow preventer. D. Swing check valve. Answer. Correct answer C. Explanation. According to the Uniform Plumbing Codec, an IC 60346, an RPZ is required where the water supply is subject to potential contamination by chemicals, or PES provide the highest level of protection and are mandatory for high-hazard applications such as fertigation. Dual check valves and atmospheric vacuum breakers are not suitable for high-hazard cross-connections. Swing check valve are not backflow prevention devices. Health and plumbing codes prioritize public health through proper containment and isolation of contaminants. Question 3. In light of recent developments, new plumbing codes have placed stricter emphasis on thermal expansion in closed water heating systems. In a residential installation, is RoHS notices recurring leaks from the temperature and pressure relief valve (TPR). A new water heater. What is the most probable cause? A. Undersized cold water supply line. B. Faulty TPR valve. C. No thermal expansion tank installed. D. Improper gas burner adjustment. Answer. Correct answer C. Explanation. In closed systems, heating water causes it to expand, increasing pressure. If no thermal expansion tank is installed, the excess pressure triggers the TPR valve. EBC Section 607(3)(2) and EBC 608.3 mandate thermal expansion control in closed systems. A faulty TPR valve is less likely and less verified. Gas burner adjustments may influence temperature but not system pressure buildup. Cold water line sizing impacts flow, not pressure relief behavior. Always verify expansion control compliance in water heater installations. Question 4. Considering the evidence a plumbing crew installing gas piping for a propane fire boiler fails a pressure test, upon inspection, the supervisor suspects they used thread sealant not rated for gas. What characteristic must a compliant gas thread sealant have? A. Water solubility for ease of removal. B. Rated for high temperature and low pressure. C. Non-hardening, approved for use with flammable gases. D. Color-coded for water systems. Answer. Correct answer C. Explanation. Sealants used in gas piping must comply with NFPA 54 and be explicitly approved for use with flammable gases. These sealants are non-hardening to prevent cracking and leaks over time. Water-soluble sealants are not durable in gas systems. Temperature resistance is important, but approval for gas is critical. Color coding is irrelevant without rating. Using the wrong sealant is a code violation and lead to serious hazards. Always verify product labeling and approvals before use. Question 5. To illustrate this point is Pino, a plumber working in a cold climate, installs an outdoor tankless water heater. Despite proper sizing and gas supply, the unit frequently shuts off during peak demand in freezing weather. What likely design flaw caused this issue? A. The unit lacks proper wind shielding. B. Condensate drain freezes and triggers a shutdown. C. Incorrect venting slope. D. Insufficient combustion air. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Tankless condensing water heaters produce acidic condensate that must be drained properly. In cold climates, if the condensate drain is exposed and uninsulated, it can freeze, causing back pressure and shutdown. This is covered under HVACR Chapter 5 of manufacturer-specific guidelines. Windshield and vent slope and combustion air are valid concerns, but freezing of condensate is a common overlooked issue in cold water installations. Solutions include heat tape and drain routing inside heated space. Question 6. By evaluating the pipe sizing chart under Table 0.33, what is the minimum nominal pipe diameter required for a 100-foot PEX cold water branch line supplying a full bathroom group with 2.5 GPM flow at 8 feet of head? A. 1, 2 inch. B. 1 inch. C. 3, 4 inch. D. 1, 1, 4 inch. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. PEX has higher friction loss than copper at 2.5 GPM over 100 feet with minor pressure drop allowance. 3, 4-inch PEX is typically required per HVACR charts. Undersized lines reduce flow and pressure, especially during simultaneous fixture use. The Uniform Plumbing Code agrees in its appendix has sizing tables. Oversizing 1 adds cost and volume unnecessarily. 1 where is under capacity. Accurate pipe sizing ensures both performance and efficiency and must consider developed length and fixture demand. Question 7. Given the circumstances, Mr. Davies is replacing a galvanized steel vent line in a UOM with EC in a multi-level residential building. What crucial code requirement must be addressed during this material transition? A. Provide cleanouts at every floor level. B. Ensure dielectric unions between materials. C. Maintain proper fire stopping at penetrations. D. Insulate all vertical vent runs. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Per ICI 305.3 and 607.5, penetrating fire-rated assemblies like floors in multi-story buildings requires approved fire stop materials and sleeves. Fire stopping prevents vertical flame and smoke spread through pipe chases. Dielectric unions apply to metallic dissimilar pipes in water systems, not vents. Insulation of vent lines is unnecessary unless condensation or noise control is specified. Cleanouts are required at certain intervals, but the critical issue during material changes in multi-story construction is maintaining fire safety compliance. Question 8. The correlation between trap seal loss and improper venting is well documented at wisdom. Is Green receives complaints of sewer odor from a laundry room sink installed at the end of a 50-foot branch drain. The P trap is intact. What is the likely cause? A. Water heater backdraft. B. Negative pressure due to inadequate venting. C. Dry trap due to infrequent use. D. Siphoning from a nearby fixture. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A long horizontal drain without adequate venting can create negative pressure, drawing water from the trap and allowing sewer gases to escape. This is known as siphonage and is addressed in IC 906.1 and IC 901.2. A dry trap is possible, but the ongoing use of the sink eliminates that. Water heater backdraft is unrelated and siphoning by nearby fixtures is possible. Secondary, a dedicated vent or air admittance valve may be required. Question 9. Through careful analysis of boiler operation, Mr. Allen notes, a two-zone hydronic heating system is short-cycling even though each zone reaches temperature. He suspects the circulator pump. What issue should he investigate? A. Incorrect water temperature setting. B. An undersized expansion tank. C. Pump oversizing causing high flow velocity. D. Zone valve wiring. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Oversized circulators cause rapid flow through zones, reducing delta T and causing the boiler to reach set point quickly then shut off, leading to short cycling. ASHRAE guidelines recommend matching pump head and flow to actual load. Undersized expansion tanks may cause pressure issues but not cycling. Wiring problems could cause failure to open but not short cycling. Temperature set points are involved but usually not the primary cause. Correctly sizing pumps improves efficiency. equipment life and comfort. Question 10. Among the various soldering techniques used in plumbing, what is the primary reason why plumbers are discouraged from using lead-based solder in potable water systems? A. It corrodes faster than other alloys. B. It produces poor flow in joints. C. It violates EPA and IC health regulations. D. It weakens under thermal stress. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The EPA's lead and copper rule LCR and IC section 605.14 prohibit lead-based solders in potable water systems due to lead leaching risks. Only solders with equal 0.2% lead are approved. Health effects of lead include neurological and developmental damage. Corrosion and thermal strength are secondary concerns. Using lead-based solder in drinking water lines violates Federal Safe Drinking Water Act (STUART) requirements and can result in major legal and health liabilities. Question 11. From the perspective of a plumber working on a commercial HVACR system, Mr. Harris is installing a new gas piping system for multiple boilers. He notices the gas meter is located 40 feet from the building entrance and the gas piping will run 120 feet inside to reach the boilers. Considering pressure drop and sizing, what is the best method to ensure proper gas delivery? A. Increase pipe diameter to reduce velocity and pressure drop. B. Use black steel pipe with thinner walls to reduce weight. C. Install a secondary regulator near the boilers to maintain pressure. D. Use flexible gas piping to ease installation around corners. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Per NFPA 54 and Chapter 12, long gas piping runs require pressure regulation close to appliances to maintain consistent pressure despite pressure drops. Increasing pipe diameter helps but may not compensate sufficiently for the 160-foot total run. Flexible gas piping is usually limited to short connections per code. Thinner wall pipe is not code-compliant for gas lines. Second, regulators near appliances are standard for multi-boiler systems to ensure safety and proper operation. Question 12. Considering the evidence, Lawson observes that a copper water supply line is frequently developing pinhole leaks after installation in a commercial HVAC system. Which factor is most likely causing this issue? A. Incorrect soldering technique using excessive heat. B. Exposure to acidic soil or improper insulation. C. Use of type K copper instead of type L. D. Failure to use dielectric unions at connections. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Copper pipe corrosion can be caused by exposure to acidic or alkaline soils or contact with incompatible metals or insulation materials, violating IC 605.5. Pinhole leaks result from corrosive environments, not soldering technique or copper type. Type K is thicker and more corrosion resistant. Dielectric unions prevent galvanic corrosion but are used between dissimilar metals, not prevent soil-induced corrosion. Proper trenching and insulation are essential. Question 13. Under the assumption that a residential water heater's TPR valve discharges near finished floor without proper drain, pan, or extension pipe, what hazard is most likely to occur? A. Corrosion of the floor finish due to moisture exposure. B. Increased risk of electrical shock. C. Violating thermal expansion codes. D. Excessive water pressure buildup in the tank. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation of Section 504.6 requires TPR valve discharge to terminate safely to avoid damage or injury. Discharging onto finished floors causes water damage and corrosion. Electrical shock risk is minimal unless water contacts live circuits. Thermal expansion and pressure are unrelated to discharge location. Proper drain pans and extension pipes channel relief water safely away to prevent damage and mold growth, maintaining code compliance. Question 14. With respect to the installation of PEX piping for a radiant floor heating system, Mr. Ahmed is concerned about chemical compatibility with the oxygen barrier requirements. What is the primary purpose of the oxygen barrier in PEX tubing used in hydronic heating? A. To prevent corrosion of metal components by limiting oxygen ingress. B. To improve heat transfer through the tubing wall. C. To increase the tubing's mechanical strength. D. To prevent water leakage under pressure. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Oxygen diffusion through PEX tubing can cause corrosion and pitting in metal components such as boilers and radiators. ASHRAE Standard 188. The oxygen barrier layer reduces oxygen permeability, protecting system longevity. It does not affect heat transfer efficiency or mechanical strength significantly and does not directly prevent leakage. Correctly selecting oxygen barrier PEX is critical to maintain system integrity and minimizing maintenance. Question 15. A key distinction between a sump pump and a sewage ejector pump is their application. Mr. Rivera is installing a pump to handle wastewater from a basement bathroom, including solids. Which type of pump is appropriate and why? A sump pump because it handles clear water only. B. Sewage ejector pump because it can pass solids. C. Sump pump due to its higher head pressure capacity. D. Sewage ejector pump because it uses a vacuum system. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Sump pumps handle mostly clear water from ground infiltration. EPC 713. Sewage ejector pumps are designed with larger impellers and solids handling capabilities for wastewater containing fecal matter and solids. EPC 710.1. Sump pumps do not have solids handling and may clog. Vacuum systems are not typical for sewage ejectors. Selecting the proper pump type, clogging and system failure, complying with health and safety codes. Question 16. Based on the information provided is the new is troubleshooting a boiler hydronic system where zone valves fail to open despite correct wiring. The circulator pump runs continuously, but heat is not delivered to the zones. What is the most likely cause? A. Faulty thermostat sending no signal. B. Air trapped in the zone, valve actuator. C. Broken wiring in the zone, valve control circuit. D. Malfunctioning pump relay causing continuous pump operation. Answer. Correct answer, C. Explanation. If the pump runs continuously but zone valves don't open, wiring failure to actuators is common cause, interrupting control signals. ASHRAE Standard 135. Faulty thermostats usually stop both pump and valve signals. Air in actuators rarely prevents opening entirely. A relay malfunction typically affects pump operation but doesn't selectively disable zone valves. Proper electrical troubleshooting per NEC Article 430 ensures system reliability. Question 17. When considering local plumbing codes and permits, Isabella is preparing to install a new outdoor gas line for a BORL connected to the home's propane system. What critical step must she complete before starting installation? A. Submit detailed schematics for permit approval. B. Purchase materials from licensed distributor. C. Conduct preliminary pressure test on existing lines. D. Verify utility company easements and setback requirements. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. Local codes often require checking utility easements and setback distances for outdoor gas lines to prevent hazards and maintain access. NFPA 54 and local amendments. While permits and schematic submission may be needed, easement compliances a prerequisite. Material purchase from licensed distributors is best practice but not a permit step. Pressure testing is done after installation. Adhere. Site-specific restrictions avoids costly rework and legal issues. Question 18. To what degree does improper soldering technique impact joint integrity in copper pipe installations? Mr. Jones reports recurring leaks after soldering repairs on a hot water supply. What soldering fault is most commonly responsible? A. Insufficient cleaning of pipe and fitting surfaces. B. Overheating leading to brittle joints. C. Using lead-free solder instead of leaded solder. D. Applying solder before heating the joint adequately. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Per IC 605.6 and Atom B, clean and flux surfaces are essential for capillary action of solder. Dirt, oil, or oxidation prevents solder bonding, causing leaks. Overheating rarely causes brittleness but can damage pipe. Lead-free solder is required by code for potable water and does not cause leaks. Applying solder before heating wastes material and prevents proper flow but is less common. A cause than poor surface prep. Proper technique is critical for durable joints. Question 19. At the heart of this issue, Istaccato is installing a new backwater valve on a residential sewer line. During inspection, the valve is found installed upside down, preventing proper function. What is the immediate consequence? A. Sewage backup into the residence during heavy rain. B. Continuous discharge of sewer gases through the valve. C. Water hammer in the main sewer line. D. Reduced flow velocity causing sediment buildup. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Backwater valves prevent reverse flow of sewage. Installed upside down, the valve flap can't seal, allowing sewage to back up into the home during surges, violating IC 708.2. Sewer gas leakage occurs through venting systems, not backwater valves. Water hammer is pressure surge caused by valve closures elsewhere. Sediment buildup is unrelated to valve orientation. Proper installation per manufacturer. Code ensures occupant safety and sanitation. Question 20. During the process of replacing an older water filtration system, Kim discovers that the existing unit lacks a bypass valve. How might this absence affect maintenance and code compliance? A. Prevents continuous water supply during filter changes, violating maintenance guidelines. B. Increases filtration efficiency but complicates repairs. C. Causes pressure loss in the supply line. D. Leads to water hammer during valve closure. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Bypass valves allow uninterrupted water flow during filter replacement, essential for serviceability per Chapter 6 and local codes. Without bypass, maintenance requires system shutdown, inconveniencing occupants and risking pressure issues. Filtration efficiency is unaffected by bypass presence. Pressure loss and water hammer relate to flow and valve operation, not bypass design, including a bypass is considered practice and co-compliant for residential and commercial filtration systems. Question 21. In the context of pressure testing a newly installed hydronic heating system, Mr. Wells uses compressed air to test for leaks. He notices the pressure drops slightly over several hours, but no visible leaks are found. What is the best practice according to safety guidelines? A. Continue using compressed air, but limit pressure to below 30 psi. B. Switch to using water for pressure testing to avoid hazards. C. Ignore minor pressure drops if no leaks are visually detected. D. Increase air pressure to identify the leak more easily. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. OSHA and ATOM recommend avoiding compressed air testing above 30 psi due to explosion risks from stored energy. Water is the preferred medium for leak testing hydronic systems because it's incompressible and safer. Ignoring pressure drops risks undetected leaks. Increasing air pressure is unsafe and violates OSHA 29 CFR 1910.119. Water testing aligns with IPC 3.12.3 in industry best practices for safety and accuracy. Question 22. According to recent studies, Mr. Fisher is tasked with choosing pipe insulation for refrigerant lines in a humid climate. He must select a material to prevent condensation and energy loss. Which characteristic is most critical? A. High thermal conductivity. B. Low permeability to water vapor. C. Flexibility for easy installation. D. Resistance to UV radiation. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The primary purpose of refrigerant line insulation is to prevent moisture vapor infiltration, which causes condensation and corrosion. ASHRAE Handbook. HVAC systems, low permeability materials, such as closed cell foam, effectively block vapor. High thermal conductivity increases heat transfer, undesirable for insulation. Flexibility and UV resistance are helpful but secondary to moisture barrier properties, especially in humid climates. Question 23. When faced with a high-efficiency condensing boiler installation, O'Connor notes the condensate drainage is directed into traditional floor drain without neutralizing chemicals. What potential issue does this pose? A. Corrosion of the drain system due to acidic condensate. B. Formation of scale inside the boiler heat exchanger. C. Increase in boiler operating temperature. D. Reduced combustion efficiency. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Condensing boilers produce acidic condensate pH 3.5, which can corrode standard drains and sewer piping. IC 701.2. Neutralizing kits or specialized drains are required to raise pH and protect infrastructure. Scale formation, operating temperature, and combustion efficiency are unrelated to condensate drainage. Proper condensate treatment complies with plumbing codes, manufacturer recommendations to avoid costly damage and system failure. Question 24. The fundamental question is, in a multi-zone hydronic system, what effect does improper balancing of flow rates have on comfort and efficiency? A. Zones farther from the pump receive more heat. B. Zones with the highest flow rates overheat, while others underheat. C. System pressure remains constant throughout. D. Circulator pumps consume less energy overall. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Without proper balancing, valves or flow control zones closer to the pump receive excessive flow, causing overheating, while distant zones starve, causing discomfort and inefficiency. ASHRAE Handbook. HVAC applications. System pressure varies with flow, not constant. Pumps may consume more energy due to uneven flow. Balancing ensures consistent temperature control and energy optimization. Question 25. Given the circumstances, Mr. Evans is installing a new water heater in a commercial kitchen. The local plumbing code requires a dielectric union at the connection between copper supply piping and the steel water heater inlet. Why is this required? A. To prevent galvanic corrosion between dissimilar metals. B. To facilitate easier future replacement of the water heater. C. To increase water flow rate through the connection. D. To reduce thermal expansion stresses. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Dielectric unions electrically isolate dissimilar metals, copper and steel, preventing galvanic corrosion per IC 605.11 and IC 605.7. This corrosion can cause leaks and premature failure. While unions ease replacement, the primary code intent is corrosion control. Flow rate and thermal stresses are unaffected. Proper use prolongs system life and complies with safety, durability standards. Question 26. Through the lens of diagnostic troubleshooting, Mr. Lopez observes a fluctuating pressure gauge reading on a chilled water pump system. What is the most likely cause? A. Air trapped in the system causing pressure spikes. B. Faulty pressure gauge calibration. C. Oversized pump causing cavitation. D. Excessive water temperature variation. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Air pockets cause erratic pressure readings and reduce system efficiency, common in chilled water systems. ASHRAE 90.1. IC 608. Bleeding air is a primary maintenance step. Faulty gauge calibration could cause constant errors, not fluctuations. Oversized pumps cause noise and vibration but not direct pressure fluctuation. Temperature changes impact pressure over longer time frames, not rapid fluctuations. Question 27. Based on the information, Mr. Patel is tasked with selecting adhesive for solvent welding PVC pipes in a waste drainage system. What is the key property of solvent cement that ensures a durable joint? A. It physically melts the pipe surfaces, creating a chemical well. B. It acts as a lubricant to ease pipe insertion. C. It forms a mechanical seal by hardening between pipe and fitting. D. It expands to fill gaps between pipe and fitting. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Solvent cement chemically softens, melts the PVC surfaces, allowing them to fuse into a single homogeneous material as it cures. ICI 303.5. This creates a strong, leak-proof joint. It does not act as a lubricant or merely a mechanical seal. Expansion could cause joint failure. Correct solvent use and curing times per manufacturer. Instructions are critical for joint integrity. Co-compliant. Question 20. For the purpose of maintaining OSHA compliance, Mr. Taylor is preparing a lockout-tag-out procedure for servicing a commercial boiler's gas valve. Which step is most critical? A. Informing all personnel of the shutdown. B. Verifying the valve is fully closed and locked. C. Removing gas supply lines before starting work. D. Draining the boiler water to prevent hazards. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. OSHA 29 CFR 1910.147 mandates that energy isolation devices like gas valves be locked and tagged to prevent accidental energization. Verifying the valve is fully closed and locked is crucial to worker safety. Informing personnel is important but secondary. Removing gas lines before isolation may introduce risk and is not standard procedure. Draining relates to mechanical safety but not directly to lockout-tagout. Question 29. How might one explain the importance of venting in preventing trap seal loss in drain waste vent interviewer systems? Mr. Garcia notices repeated dry traps in a guest bathroom located at the end of a long horizontal drain. A. Lack of venting allows negative pressure to siphon water from traps. B. Excessive venting causes water to evaporate quickly. C. Improper venting increases water flow velocity, disrupting traps. D. Vent pipes cause water hammer, damaging traps. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Negative pressure in drain lines caused by fixtures draining without proper venting can siphon water from traps, violating ITC 906.1 and ITC 901.2. This exposes sewer gases to indoor air. Excessive venting is uncommon and does not cause evaporation. Venting doesn't affect velocity negatively nor causes water hammer. Proper vent design maintains trap seals, protecting health. Co-compliant. Question 30. In terms of safety, when operating power tools on HVACR plumbing sites, which PPE is most critical to protect against flying debris and chemical splashes? A. Safety goggles and chemical-resistant gloves. B. Hearing protection and steel-toed boots. C. Respiratory mask and insulated gloves. D. Hard hat and high-visibility vest. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. OSHA 29 CFR 1910.132 and 1910.133 require eye protection goggles to shield against flying particles and chemical splashes. Chemical-resistant gloves prevent skin exposure to solvents and sealants. Hearing protection and boots are important but secondary to eye and hand safety for power tool use. Respirators protect from fumes and hats protect from falling objects, but the question focuses on flying debris and chemical hazards.